This is Inside Mside, your favorite podcast for all things Morningside. Hear stories from students, alumni, faculty, and more about what makes the Morningside experience so special.
Hello and welcome into this latest edition of the Inside Mside podcast here on YouTube or wherever you get your podcast. I'm your host, Zach James. Thank you so much for joining us today. And with us today, we're going to talk about the agriculture department here at Morningside University. And here to help us do just that is Melissa Nelson, the internship and externship coordinator here at Morningside, and Morningside Junior R.C. Hicks, who has gotten some really good internship experience inside the agriculture department. Guys, thanks so much for joining me here today.
I'm glad that you asked us.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's start off with talking about the She Grows event that happened here at Epley Auditorium here a few weeks ago. Melissa, you were a big part of making that event happen. Congratulations on that event being so successful, and thanks to the Iowa State University Extension Outreach Program for being a big part of why that event was so successful. Just talk a little bit more about that event and what that event was all about.
Yeah, so the ag department at Morningside is always doing something. We've got things going on all the time. Our calendar seems full, which is really fun. But we had an event 2 weeks ago called She Grows. Iowa State Extension and Outreach in Woodbury County reached out to a coworker, Dee McKenna, and I, and said, hey, we would really love to plan some kind of an event for women in agriculture in our area. And would you like to help us plan that? And Dee and I said, absolutely. That sounds right up our alley. So we put together a list of speakers. We put together the schedule. We had Sodexo cater our meal here on campus. It was really nice to be able to host this event here on our Morningside campus because it's beautiful. And it just got a lot of people to campus that maybe hadn't been here before so they could experience Morningside. And we had over 200 gals that came and were at the event. So ages from high school all the way up to pre and post retirement. So women of all ages from all walks of life in agriculture.
How inspiring was it to see the younger crowd be so attentive and be so inspired by the keynote speakers?
So the high school gals, it was really fun. We had about 70 high schoolers that came from all the way from, local Sioux City area, so Northwest Iowa, but we also had students that came from as far as Kalamazoo, Wheatland. We had students that drove with their advisor. They came the night before. And they stayed in a hotel. They got a tour of the greenhouse at like 7:30 in the morning before the conference started. So they came from all over.
As the event coordinator, as someone who got that event put together, what inspired you about that event?
I just loved seeing women of all ages and all different parts of industry, whether they were local producers on family farms of their own, or if they were working in ag business, or if they were working in agronomy, just all the different facets of agriculture represented, and having women of all ages, whether they were just getting excited about ag and their future career in it, or had been working in it their whole life. That was really fun for me to see.
Is this going to be an annual event? Are there any plans for Chapter 2?
I think we will. We do plan to host it again next year. So we're looking at dates that work with our campus calendar and with just the calendar of ag, and see if we can find a spot that will fit in the calendar next year so we can have it again.
So let's shift gears and talk about your role here at Morningside as the internship and externship coordinator. How's that going? And talk a little bit more about that program.
This is my 7th school year as externship coordinator here at Morningside. So have seen students come in as freshmen and graduate and go work in the ag industry for 7 years now, which is really fun. And RC here gets to experience my favorite part of the ag program, which is the externship this year. So I'll let him explain from his point of view what the externship is.
Go ahead.
So I'm R.C. Hicks. I'm a junior here at Morningside, majoring in agronomy and ag business. So I pretty much came to Morningside because of their ag program. I met Melissa on my visit, and it kind of sealed the deal on me wanting to come here. I really enjoyed their ag program, and then she touched on the externship that we have our senior fall, so our first semester of our senior year, and I really thought that would be a pretty cool experience. So I think it was freshman year we had to job shadow somebody, and Melissa got me the contact of Taylor Nelson, who is the owner of Nelson Farms in Jackson, Nebraska, which is like 15 minutes away from here. So she got me his contact info, and I actually job shadowed Taylor my freshman year, and then I've been in contact with him ever since. I've helped him a few times just running tractor and doing a little bit of tillage and running the grain cart for him during the busy harvest times. But I really thought he was a really cool dude, and he farms a lot of acres, and that's what I want to do whenever I get done with college. I want to go back home to the family farm and really take it all over. So I thought it would be a pretty cool experience to do it with Taylor. And yeah, I'm going to be doing that throughout the whole summer and fall for my first fall semester.
RC, what kind of big takeaways do you take away from being out in the field and getting that essential experience that you just can't get in the classroom?
Well, since he does farm, he's
a lot.
9 times the size of mine, so it's pretty cool to see how he manages all those acres. I mean, it's him and a few family members and a couple other hired guys, so it's pretty cool to see how everything's working, especially during harvest. It was a pretty fun experience to be out there and help him out, and every bit of his ground is irrigated too, so that's something that I'm really not familiar with. From south central Iowa, we don't have any irrigation. We can't. It's too hilly. So out there, nice big flat fields, and being able to see all the irrigation pivots run and everything, it's a pretty cool experience.
So we talked briefly before you came on, before we put the record button. You're from southern Iowa. You didn't grow up that far away from where I grew up. What kinds of things can you take away from Nelson Farms here up in northwest Iowa that maybe you can take down with you down to southern Iowa?
I can kind of learn different things from other farmers, kind of how they do things, and then kind of apply that on my farm. A lot of the time management stuff really is something that I kind of learn about a lot, just how everybody manages all of their time and how to get everything done in a timely manner. That's kind of the main thing that I want to take home and learn how to be efficient, and because time is money, so really got to be efficient, especially if I continue to expand my farm like how I want to. I got to learn how to be more efficient, especially if I get into higher acres like I plan to in my future. So.
And Melissa, just talking about RC, just hearing about RC's experience rather, and how cool that's been, how important is it for all of the students here at Morningside to gain that experience that, like I said, they just can't get in the classroom?
It's huge. So I talk to employers every day from all areas of the ag industry, and they are looking for employees to come work for them that have that hands-on experience. And so I think one of the most unique things about the Morningside Ag program is we build that into every single class and every part of what we do when we're teaching our students, because we know that employers want that hands-on experience. And so we know that we can teach you lots of things in the classroom, and there is a lot of classroom time. You are in class, but we get our hands dirty a lot too. So using our campus facilities like the garden and the outdoor classroom and the greenhouse, and now the campus farm and the Mside Beef program, our new animal science lab, we build that right into our program.
There's a lot more going on here in the Morningside Applied Ag and Food Studies Department. Let's talk a little bit more about the Mside Beef program, what that all entails, and the details about that, please.
So the Mside Beef program is a really neat deal that is, it's coming on this fall. So we know that students need to learn how to manage farm operations in a hands-on way. And so when RC is done with his externship, actually, he'll come back to campus for his last semester and take any of the last classes that he has on campus. And one of those is our capstone course. And that capstone course is where our senior students, they are managing our farm, our crop operation, making all those decisions on fertilizer recommendations and seed recommendations and all of those things that go into it. And we knew that we have a lot of students that come from diversified farm operations, and so livestock is a big part of that. And so how do we teach that part of it in a hands-on way as well? Well, our campus is located in the city, as we know. The farm that we purchased is probably not a perfect spot to build a lot of infrastructure for a livestock operation. And so we're using our resources, and actually we're working with a local feedlot right outside of town, about 20 minutes in Moville. It's coincidentally my family feedlot that we're going to be working with, the Nelsons. And we're going to feed a pen of cattle that the students will make the management decisions on and be as involved in the hands-on operation as they're able and as they want to. But they're going to get to experience that from start to finish too, which is really valuable.
And we can't not talk about the animal science lab that's being developed right now, thanks to a generous donation. Talk to us a little bit more about that.
So the new animal science lab is coming online this fall. We received a very generous gift from Regina Roth, which we are very appreciative of and thankful for. So we are currently working on remodeling some space in Walker Science, some lab classroom space into an animal science and food laboratory. So we're collaborating with the biology department and the chemistry department because we know that a lot of students that actually graduate with bio and chem majors are likely to go into a food related industry, working in food safety or food quality assurance. And we have a ton of that industry right here in Sioux City. So there's something like 40 different food companies within an hour of Sioux City. And so they need employees, and so we can provide that for them. So students will be able to have that hands-on experience in our food lab. In the animal science lab, there's different models that we will use for teaching strategies, just more of that hands-on learning.
How can prospective students find out more information about this wonderful program?
We would love to have any prospective students come on a visit to campus so they can work on that through the admissions department. We can set up a visit. We can show them our facilities. Every student visit that comes to the ag program at Morningside, they get a half an hour to sit down and talk about classes and student life and things like that in the ag specific program. But then we also take a half an hour to go and see our facilities to showcase our greenhouse and say, this is how we teach hands-on principles in a way that gets you out of the classroom.
I would say that, especially if you're going into ag here at Morningside, it is a really cool experience. Throughout all of my freshman year, all of my freshman classes and sophomore classes, we have a lot of really good classes where you do a lot of hands-on learning. You get out of the classroom, you go and see kind of life around Sioux City, and you go see different farms and other things. You get a lot of really good experience. So that was one thing that I really enjoyed, was the hands-on experience, kind of getting out of the classroom.
Make sure to check out all our other episodes on our YouTube page or wherever you get your podcasts to check out all the wonderful good news about this wonderful university. And to learn more about this place, check out morningside.edu. For the university engagement staff and everybody else here at Morningside University, Zach James saying thank you so much for joining us here on this episode of the Inside MSide podcast. We'll talk to you next time.